Hello, I'm Senior Programmer Jen Wilson, and welcome to this Film Independent Presents Q&A for the film Re-Election, written and directed by Adam Saunders. Special thanks to Picture House for helping us show this film to our members. Thank you to our lead sponsor, the Golden Globe Foundation, our media sponsor, KCRW, and our virtual screenings partner, Vision Media. And now, please join me in welcoming writer, director, and star Adam Saunders and actors Bex Taylor-Klaus, Kym Whitley, Rizwan Manji, and Tony Danza. Welcome to you all. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with Adam. You're an actor. What was it that made you decide to get into writing and directing?
Well, that's a longer conversation. You know, I wanted to write a story that felt meaningful to me in this moment in time. You know, not just for me as an actor. Obviously, I wrote the role for me to play it as an actor, so it spoke to me. You know, the personal themes of personal responsibility and familial obligation and those kinds of things. But also as a storyteller in general, you know, in this political landscape right now. You know, I grew up in Texas. These guys have heard me say this. I grew up in Texas. I've lived the last 20 years on the coasts, and I wanted to tell a story that both my friends in Texas and my friends on the coasts could watch about politics and about empathy and about how the point of public service is to serve the public, you know. And so that was kind of my impetus to write this story.
This movie, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. In the 80s movies were sort of my coming of age, and the style of this movie really reminded me of a lot of those 80s movies that I loved. Is that on purpose that you kind of styled this in a sort of 80s fashion? Are you a 80s movies fan too?
100%, 100%. I mean, those are my movies, 80s and 90s movies.
I certainly am.
Tony was in all of those movies.
Tony was in them.
No, but you know, when we tell people, you know, it's Billy Madison meets election. I think that's a fun hook, you know. But actually, when I was writing it, it wasn't just those. It was also Back to School, the Rodney Dangerfield movie, which I thought was a real inspiration. And tonally, I don't even know if I told you guys that tonally it was a movie called Can't Buy Me Love, which
favorite movie.
Really?
I love that movie so much.
I watched that movie over and over and over again when I was writing this, just to get the tone of that, you know, because it's not laugh out loud every second, but it has a point. It is fun. So absolutely, Jen, those were the kinds of movies in my mind.
Yeah, I was thinking of those, Drew Barrymore, Never Been Kissed.
Sure.
Like the trope of somebody that has to go back to high school is one that I always really loved. An even older one was John Cryer in Hiding Out, 1987. Did you see that?
Yes.
Love it, love it, love it. So how do you juggle the duties of directing and acting in your own movie? Do you have anybody to help with your own performance in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting process, right? I try to treat each job as if it's the only job I've been hired to do. So, you know, in the time when I'm writing the script, that's really all I'm doing. So the script went through, you know, a couple of years of development. You know, we brought in stand-up comics to come in and pitch jokes. We did staged readings several times. I really tried to get the script as if it was the only thing I was doing was hired to write the script. And then once the script was ready to go out to actors, you know, I cast myself, you know, as Jimmy, and then I hired an acting coach, and I worked for a long period of time on the role. We didn't actually go through the scenes because, you know, I didn't want him to direct me in the scenes, but we really talked through all the beats. And the opening scene with the dolls, that opening sequence, that came out of an acting exercise. That was not in the original script. And, you know, we were talking about what's going on for Jimmy. And so we do something, a vulnerable private moment. So I came in my underwear and played with dolls. And he was like, that's gotta be in the movie. So anyway, so I worked with the coach, you know, for that. And then when it comes time to actually be on the set, you know, then I really kind of think of myself as a director. You know, that's really where I feel like I am. And my job is to be present with the other actors and to really be with them in their performances. And I'm obviously an actor's director because I'm an actor, but I feel that doing all the jobs really helps me, you know, because when I'm acting, I don't have to worry that I'm I'm not giving the director what he wants. And if an actor wants to, and these guys are great improvisers, if they want to change a line, I don't have to worry that, I've aggravated the writer, so I think being able to do all the things actually helps me do the jobs better.
Can you talk a little bit about your casting process with this movie and getting all these amazing veteran actors that we recognize from so many television shows and movies?
Well, I was so fortunate. I mean, so Tony, we start with Tony. I mean, I knew Tony. We'd worked on a show together in South Africa. And so, I gave him the script and started there. And he was gracious enough to say he would do it, and on the Tony front, this movie is about all the things I talked about. Am I frozen? Oh, about all the things that I talked about, but really ultimately at the center of it, it's a father and son story. And, I wanted somebody that was empathetic, that feels like somebody you want to spend time with. And in my mind, that's Tony. And now that I know him, I know that to be true. So I started with him, and then we brought on Mary Vernew, amazing casting director, to help us cast the rest of roles. Then the next role we cast was Bex, which was not an easy role to cast. And Bex came in and just blew us all away, and as they do in this movie. And then I met with Riz, who I had been a fan of through some of his other shows, but I didn't know him personally, and I certainly didn't know him like I know him now. But we met and we talked about the role, and I loved him right away. And then Kym came into us because there's an actress in our movie named Patty Guggenheim who was friends with Kym, and I kept telling Patty, I need a great comedian, and I wasn't as plugged into the comedy circle as Patty was. And I was like, I really need a great comedian to play this part, because it is it's the person that's kind of like, setting the rules. So it can't be too serious. It has to be someone that has that gravitas, but also is hilarious. And Patty was like, I've got the perfect person, I'll call her. And then Kym was gracious enough to come in.
That's what I like about Patty.
Yeah.
He did something, I got it. Boom.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Bex, I wondered for you, you played this really iconic character named Bullet in The Killing. Probably one of the first that I can remember standout non-binary characters in a television show. And I was just wondering, that character was just so exciting to see and so important to me. But I was just wondering, um, we don't get to see your character that much in comedies. And so I was just wondering if you could talk about your character in this and sort of like shaping them to be, what they are.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. I love a bullet shout out. That was the first character I ever played, and I love them with all my heart and soul. And I think they inform everything I do, because you're right, we don't get to see the non-binary character be comedy beats quite often. They're usually like the intense, the tortured soul, the person who has to deal with all this stuff. And sure, in this movie, yeah, they do have to deal with some of the heavy stuff. And they have this lightness to them, this ability to stand above it, that I really admire and love. And I want to see more, characters who are often seen as downtrodden be seen as this beacon of light and hope, like Noah is. And it meant a lot to have that be what was written, because like I said, I get a lot of characters that come across my desk that are non-binary and who are, I call them torture porn, and it gets a little exhausting. And to have this character be hopeful, and yeah, there are these few moments for Noah where they're getting beaten down and they're very frustrated, and they feel that weight on their shoulders. And by the end of the movie, they are standing tall. Whether or not they have the weight on their shoulders or not, they're carrying it. It's like, to me, that's really admirable and important. And like you said, it's fun to play comedy. I also, I was telling Adam this, I think it's hilarious that he cast me to be the straight man when I am neither straight nor a man. And I
Yes.
love that.
It ain't not bad, Bex. Not bad.
For Tony, I was wondering, did you come up with a backstory for your dad character who runs this kind of weird replica store, and yet he seems like so dedicated to his replica store?
In fact, I knew somebody very much like that, and just used his being basically. But I think the more important part of it is the father son thing. I mean, I think I think the character is also over the store. You know, but he's tied to it. What are you going to do? You know, I mean, and so the store isn't as important as you know, Jimmy getting off the stool and getting out of the store.
Mm. What is a son if not a replica?
True, so true. Um, for Riz, your character has always looked like the one that would be the most fun to play to me. That he's the guy who got everything he ever wanted, and we kind of hate him a little bit, even though he's not really a bad guy. Was it really fun to play this character?
I had so much fun. I mean, from the as I said, I zoomed with Adam before getting this part, and then we ended up meeting at a coffee shop, and we we were just talking about the character, and we both sort of like came up with this guy that was in my head, this politician that's no longer a politician. I think I was looking, I was like, I don't think he's doing anything anymore. There's Bobby Jindal, who the governor, the old governor of Louisiana, which fun fact, actually, Adam, like he went to the school that we shot, because we shot this in Louisiana for Texas, and he was a alumni of that school. So it's kind of ironic. But I always felt like Bobby Jindal does this like fake accent. He's Indian like me, but he has, I don't know if he's doing like a southern accent, but he definitely doesn't sound like that. I think when he's like at home, he's doing this persona. And I was like, I just want to go out and just like do this fake southern accent and just have fun with it. And Adam was all for it. And I also love that you know, at the end, I mean, you guys have seen the movie now, so at the end, Manish has a little bit of humanity. He gets to sort of, you know, be a be a good guy for maybe 30 seconds in the movie. But yeah, I'm glad that I got that opportunity as well.
It went full circle, yes.
Yeah,
It
that's
did the
it.
whole thing, yes.
For
Yeah,
Kym,
sorry,
oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
just want to add on that, which is that I think that's Ceriz's great credit, because I think that on the page that character could just be somebody that you don't like the whole way. Yes, he has his sort of redeeming moment, but I think Riz brings that sort of
Yeah.
positivity. You can see how people would vote for this guy. You know what I mean? He feels believably the governor of Texas. I think that.
Thank you.
For Kym, for this character who's so hilarious, did you think about like school administrators that you've known in the past or seen in other things, and sort of, I always think, I wonder if people in those jobs who are funny, if that is the way that they deal with their terrible job. Have you ever thought about it that way?
Well, for this character, I've always wanted to, be in charge and be a superintendent. But the truth is, I was a substitute teacher the beginning of my career in Compton, California, and they called me the general. So I already knew what I was dealing with, and to come in and to be that person. So it was fun to kind of take a piece of my life and people that I've seen before, and put it together in one. And it was so much fun because Adam was right. You're serious, but underneath, she's an alcoholic. No. Oh, so I had to make my backstory. So it was a lot of fun. And to be in a scene with Patty, oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
because we worked together before, we had so much fun. And Adam had to keep us straight and on point.
Yeah,
I
they
was
were amazing. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you all, do you seem to have such a great rapport? Is it for Adam, is it sort of important to establish a fun rapport among the cast before you do a comedy?
Well, it's important to me to establish a fun rapport whenever we can. I mean, with these guys, they're so busy. I may not get time before we start shooting, but what I try to do, and I think we were able to do on this show, is create a relaxed atmosphere where people can kind of be themselves. And if people want to try things, they get to try things. And if people, they want to say it my way, they're going to get a chance to say it the way I wrote it, but to give them a chance to do it different ways, or get the chance to, and I think the relaxation, the looseness of it allows for a real bond to form. And I also think, when you have, I've said, Tony's heard me say this before, but when you have somebody like Tony in an independent film, a legend, he comes on to the set and everybody kind of sits up and is like, how's this going to go? You know what I mean? And to Tony's great credit, he just had my back from minute one. And so I think the combination of those two factors, having Tony be that way, and having the rest of the cast be so they're just good people. We lucked out. Not everybody is good people in this business, but these guys are. So we lucked out.
Hey, Jen, if I might add, it does come from the top,
Yeah.
but it's a good group. It's a good
I was
group.
gonna say Adam's all right. We'll keep him.
Was there anything that was totally unexpected that happened during the making of this movie?
Tony playing that little bitty guitar.
It's a
Ukulele,
ukulele.
Thank you, ukulele.
Do you play
Excuse me.
do you play the ukulele for real, Tony? I was wondering that when I saw the movie.
Do I play the ukulele for real?
Very
I
well.
gotta go
Very
get
well.
Lucy.
Oh no!
Uh-oh. You're gonna find out, Jen, whether he plays
Uh-oh.
the ukulele.
Oh
we
my
are gonna
God.
find
That
out.
That was my
now.
I arrived on set, and that was the first thing. I was in the makeup trailer, and Tony comes in and he starts playing the ukulele, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the most fun set
Oh, yeah.
on the
Same
And I will say, it was written to be
Yes.
it was written to be
That's
the
Lucy.
piano. We changed it.
Her
Yeah.
name's Lucy, and she's. You know why I started playing this? Because of a thought for the day calendar. You know those thought for the day calendars that tell you be tough, life's hard, and wear red socks for a fashion statement. It was a good one the other day. It said if a kid tells you he's going to throw up, believe him.
Yes.
Yeah. So one day it says get a chord book, get a ukulele, a chord book, practice 30 minutes a day for 30 days. At the end of that time, you'll entertain yourself, your friend, and your family for the rest of your life. It was a long thought that day, but I decided, hey, I should try it. And you could do all sorts of things. You could play the whole Hawaiian.
Oh no, we can't hear
Can't
it.
hear it.
On the sand and sea.
Oh, now we can.
And I brought home a memo. You could do that. Or you could do ukulele standards. 5'2", eyes blue. Oh, those blue eyes get blue. Anybody? You could do that. But what I like to do is try to adapt the American songbook to it. So maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm weak and maybe I'm strong. But nevertheless, I'm in love with you.
That's amazing. I love it.
So there you go. So I do play. Yes.
Why,
You
why,
answered the question, Jen.
why am I
Hey.
thinking of the 30 days? I'm sorry. I'm like, maybe I can do this. Adam, would you
I'm telling you, Kim, I promise you.
30 days for 30 minutes?
30
a day.
days. I mean, you get a chord book. It shows you where you put your fingers. You're not going to know all the chords. That's going to take time, but you know where they are. And so, and you could do you could go, I took my troubles down to Madame Ruth. You know that gypsy with the gold cap too. You could do anything on this thing. It's hysterical.
Okay, next time.
And by the way, romantically, it's a ray gun. I swear. Boom, forget
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But then Adam was saying there was something else you substituted the ukulele for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was originally written as the piano, and then we thought, if he plays the ukulele,
I play a little piano, but I'm not getting
I'm gonna bring the piano in here.
no film with me playing the piano. No.
Also, it's
wondering-
not like you can just carry the piano around. with
Yeah,
you.
that's what makes this thing so
It's a
great.
little hard.
Take with
Yeah.
you anywhere. It's like
But
I
to
know.
see a great legend when you walk on set, my first day, I didn't know anyone but Patty. And I walked on the set and I'm like, oh, there go Tony Danza. Oh, there go Tony. He comes around, he has this ukulele. Well, I said the little bitty guitar. And I was like, is he playing that for real? And it just made for an environment of when you can be comfortable. And like Tony said, it comes from the top. So when you're as an artist, an actor, I know Riz can definitely attest to this, as you come on a set and you as comics, you want to be free, but you're like, oh, let me see what this situation is. And when Tony was playing that, I said, oh, the director must be cool. Tony not doing that.
You were right, Kym. You were right. That's right.
I was wondering.
I'm telling you, she does break the ice. It's incredible. I'm telling you, I become so, I take her everywhere with me. It's hysterical. And I'm oft times breaking into song, which is,
Emotional
it's
support.
both, people are like, all right already, but I can't.
Emotional support
Ukulele.
instrument. Yeah.
Emotional support instrument.
Yeah,
There you go.
Get a special pass on the airplane.
I'm gonna get a little jacket for it. Say
Yeah.
Yes. Tiny leather jacket for Lucy.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a stroller and go down the block with it in the stroller.
Okay.
You got to see on the
All right,
I live on the
Tupac.
west side. On the west side, there's so many dogs in strollers. It's crazy.
Little boots
I'm
for
in
the
I'm in
knobs.
LaGuardia the other day coming back from San Antonio. I'm going down to get into the baggage claim. I'm getting on the escalator. In front of me, there's a woman with this giant stroller, and it's got a hood on it, and she's going on the escalator with it. And this woman's going to kill herself. I said, I got to help her. I go to do it. I go next to the thing on the side, and a dog comes out and looks at me. I got to do it. I got to continue. I have to help the dog down the escalator.
That's
That's
crazy.
amazing.
So I'm wondering, as a wrap-up question, what do you think, what do you hope the audience takeaway is? We'll start with Adam, and then if anybody else has a thought, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that first of all, I hope people go and see it because it is what you talked about, Jen, at the top of this. It's a throwback comedy. It's a fun time. It's an hour and a half where you can spend with your family. It's PG-13. It's just a fun, uplifting movie. So that's what I hope brings them into the theater. But then, when they walk out, I hope that we live in such a time of divisive everything, right? And I hope what this says is that we are just more similar, right? It sounds maybe trite or something, but like we just are similar, and I think just spending 2 hours, I tried to cast this movie representative of the American demographic. We obviously have non-binary characters, but we have Black characters, we have Latinx characters, we have Indian characters, we have women, we have men, we have everything, right? It's America. And my hope is that, when you go and see this movie and you spend time with all these people, you're like, you know what? I liked all these people, so it's really just about empathy. And I think that's so important in our society right now.
I'll go next. I think it is a throwback sort of comedy, but I think it's just I had a bunch of my kids go from the program, and I was stunned how they loved it. I was really, and it just shows you that, we've evolved or devolved, whatever you want to say, to where we are now with social media, with everything. This is a very different experience. And one of the things I think that is caused, the thing that Adam's talking about, the polarization, the fragmentation, is that we don't watch the same things anymore. We used to watch, my show used to get 30 million people on a week, so now, if you get 3 million, you have a hit show. So that, when MASH went off the air, 110 million people watched. And there were only about 280 or something like that in the country at the time. So it was really an event. And so we don't do that. And I think this movie calls back to that. It does. And then The other thing that it has, aside from that style, is it says something. It has something to say, and it's one. Bex does such a great job. I mean, everybody's good in the movie, but Bex is just, she's the heart of the movie. They are the heart of the movie. I'm sorry, and so I just think it has something to say, and it's done in a way that sort of speaks to another time. Come on, somebody else go.
I want people to walk away with this with hope. I mean, everything that Tony said, especially compliments to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I I think that it's something special because, like Tony said, it's weird out here. It's different than it's ever been in life, and this bringing us back to the way that, kind of like the golden age of movies, the golden age of connecting over media and being able to have conversations about something that entertains us and not just entertains us but gets us thinking. And I want people to walk away from this movie with hope that people can have conversations with each other, hope that people can watch movies together again, and whether it's in a theater or in a home theater or just, sitting next to each other on an airplane. I kind of
Hey,
love that.
Bex, I don't mean to interrupt you. Jen, I just want to tell you, I hadn't sat in a movie with other people and watched a movie. I think the last time I went, and this is a dude, what's his name? Oh God, a friend of mine lives here, and he says to me, "Let's go around the corner and see the Avengers." I says, I don't want to see those crazy movies. Yeah, still, you're gonna love it. So we went, and I stayed 30 minutes. I couldn't take it, but anyway, I left. And this is years ago. This is years ago. I haven't been in a movie, so there I was sitting there with all these people enjoying the movie, and it's just an incredible experience that,
Yeah.
that we don't do anymore. I'm sorry, Bex. I'm sorry.
No, it's exactly that. It's connection, camaraderie, and community.
Yeah, I don't think how do we expect community if we don't commune? We don't seem to, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's a product of our, look, we all have big TVs, we all have all sorts of, electronics. So you can't help it. And these things, by the way, did you ever listen to Scott Galloway? Anybody? You have to listen to this guy. But one of the things he talks about is these things, like the Facebook, Instagram, all that. Then they're designed to isolate you, designed to do exactly what we're talking about. And so, we're all addicted to it. I mean, I left my phone home the other day, and I was like, this is interesting. So, so I mean, I just think, this is sort of a crazy little antidote to it.
Yeah.
That's all. And,
Uh,
and I'm proud to be part of it.
Same.
Thank you, Tony. Adam, when is this film getting out in the world and how?
We opened in theaters and we played in New York and in Dallas and Atlanta, and I'm happy to report that we were number one in Dallas and Atlanta, and we were number 5 in New York, which was amazing. And
Yes.
we Picture House has been such a great distributor for us, and we had an opportunity to continue to expand. But they felt like with the holidays coming up, that what we really should do is we should transition to streaming. And so I think they were targeting either November 25th or the following week in the first week of December that it will come out on streaming. I don't know exactly the date, but it's coming up soon.
Which
Do you-
streamer?
Fantastic.
Do we know which streaming service?
It's going to open on TVOD first so that people buy it, and then it'll switch to like an SVOD.
And you'll let us know so we can
yeah,
promote, of course.
100%.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming and being a part of this Q&A.
It's really
And
good to see you all.
congratulations
I
on the movie.
know. Everyone
Thanks,
looks
Jen.
great.
Thanks,
Have a
Jen.
wonderful
Thank you. You did a great
holiday.
job, and thank you for bringing us together.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks,
thank
Jen.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.